We're all used to the idea that in about 5 billion years, the Sun will turn into a red giant and swallow the Earth. This is a huge period of time, and it is clear that if humanity does not have time to escape by then, as they say, it's their own fault. But what will life be like on Earth and in the solar system in a relatively foreseeable future? For example, in 100,000 years, from the planet's perspective, this is a tiny period of time, and even the extinction of the dinosaurs took 650 times longer. But on the other hand, 100,000 years is generally within the planning horizon of human civilization. And after all, our species is only twice as old as ours, older. What will be the future of our descendants in terms of the Earth and space? The first thing that will strike a time traveler is that in 100,000 years, the starry sky will look completely different. Not that this is important to residents of modern cities who can't see the stars anyway, but it's still worth reminding them that the stars move too. It's just that they are so far away that we hardly notice it from the ground, but only almost, because if Barnard's star is 6 light-years away, and it changes its position in the sky by as much as 10 angular seconds in 365 Earth days, this is actually a record for our sky. The movement of the rest of the stars is unrealistic to notice with the naked eye. But 100,000 years is enough time for the zodiac signs to have to be rewritten. By the way, it is only now that the star Barnard is 6 light-years away from Earth. In 100,000 years, our neighborhood will also be a little thinner. Barnard's star will first fly 3 light-years closer to Earth, perhaps even taking the title of closest from Proxima Centauri, and then will fly away from us, and in 100,000 years will be more than 10 light-years away. The Alpha Centauri system, by the way, will also be twice as far away and will be about 6 light-years away. Along the way, Ross 248, Gliese 445, and about 3 other potential candidates will share the name of the closest stars to the Sun at that time. This is where the fun begins. In recent years, with supercomputers at their disposal, scientists have calculated the trajectories of many stars for years both backward and forward, and it has been revealed that our Sun is by no means a hermit. It is often approached by other luminaries. For example, 70,000 years ago, the star shoals passed by the Sun at a distance of only 0.8 astronomical units. The point is that statistically, such convergences occur once every 100,000 years, just in time for us for time travel. Unfortunately, even now computers can't calculate everything perfectly, but the available data is enough to assert that in 100,000 years, the Sun will come close to one of the stars at least once. Not that it will shine very brightly in the sky, but it will be able to send gifts in the form of comets and asteroids to the Earth with the help of gravity. According to NASA, an asteroid the size of a car hits the Earth once a year, the size of a football field once every 2,000 years. Well, the size of a kilometer once every 100,000 years. This is not enough to cause global extinction, and the surface of our planet mostly consists of water, but theoretically, if you travel back or forward 100,000 years, you can expect to encounter the legend of an asteroid that destroyed a country or a large city. In fact, in 1908, the Tunguska meteorite fell with the force of an atomic bomb dropped on Hiroshima, and it was not that big. According to astronomers, events similar to Tunguska occur once every 200, 500 years. So, in 100,000 years, the lottery will spin too many times to deny that some meteorite will fall on some city simply on the theory of probability. The good news is that the hierarchy in the solar system will not change in 100,000 years. As already mentioned, space modeling is a difficult task even for supercomputers, but Angel Zhivkov and Vela Tunchev from the University of Sofia have calculated that we are safe for at least this period. At most, their model affects 1 million years, but there are caveats. and we will not dive into them. It is important that, on the one hand, the Earth will not suffer from gravitational perturbations. On the other hand, the window for colonizing the solar system in the next 100,000 years will be open. Of course, it is impossible to make objective predictions here. We can say for sure only one thing: theoretically, 100 years is more than enough time for terraforming Mars. Dr. Francois Ford is the most conservative in his estimates of the time frame, and he calculated that it would require 10 tons of gas in the 15th stage, which would take 100,000 years to import with modern rocket capacities. That is exactly the duration of our time travel. But technology will not stand still. Rockets will be more capacious and, as a result, everything mathematically converges. The most optimistic estimates are given by Robert Zubrin in his book The Case for Mars. It involves huge mirrors that heat up Mars and an interesting scheme with bombardment, bacteria saturating the atmosphere with gases. He and many scientists with similar sophisticated ideas put forward a terraforming period of 100 to 200 years. Moreover, it is quite possible to cope with the existing technologies in 100,000 years and theoretically turn Mars into a place that is quite comfortable by the standards of the solar system. Of the more harmless things, the length of the day will change slightly in 100,000 years. Only God knows how. And do not believe articles and videos that tell you how it will be. Now, there is a study that the Earth is slowing down, and in 100,000 years, the day will be 1.35 seconds longer. And on the other hand, there is an opposite study that says that the planet is accelerating. According to time and date, the shortest day was recorded on June 29, 2022. The Earth spun 1.59 milliseconds faster than usual. In general, it is clear that there will be changes. They will be felt by everyone who works with delicate equipment. First of all, of course, pilots and sailors. For the latter, things will be sad, and the North Star will not be with us forever. In 3,000 years, it will be replaced by Gamma Cephei, followed by other stars in this constellation. It will be a little easier in 15,000 years, when the new North Star will be a very bright Vega, but then again darkness, and because the stars of the Dragon and Hercules are very dim and cannot be found without at least binoculars. There are no reliable calculations for 100,000 years, but the reality is that the title of the North Star is taken by others with different frequency, and there are only a couple of bright ones from the list of 24 candidates. So there is a chance that in the future we will have to look for the North not by one, but by several stars. The only thing our descendants will be able to rejoice in is a supernova, a unique event even by galactic standards. Stars explode very rarely, and even more rarely can these explosions be reliably studied in the Milky Way. They explode a couple of times a century, but without telescopes, you can't see the explosion. The last time it happened was back in 1604, when Johannes Kepler, together with all the inhabitants of the planet, looked at the star SN to 1604, which was visible even in daylight. It is clear that in 100,000 years, this will happen more than once, but we included supernovae in this video because in the near future explosions are expected, next to which SN 1604 will seem like a Chinese garland. The astronomical community is waiting for a supernova performed by Betelgeuse any day now. The star is only 640 light years away and will shine like half the moon for several weeks. In general, once you get to the 100,000th year, open the internet. It will surely be full of videos and photos of the weeks when the Earth had several moons. However, do not forget to stock up on warm clothes. Because finally, we're going to talk about perhaps the most vile topic of our time: climate change. Luckily, we won't have to discuss schizophrenic abandonment of charging units for the sake of saving ourselves. After all, we are talking primarily about space, and here the climate issue is one of the main mysteries. It is called the problem of 100,000 years. The fact is that from an astronomical point of view, the climate on Earth must change, because both the inclination of our planet in relation to the Sun and its orbit fluctuates. It is clear that the more the Earth is tilted, the more energy one hemisphere receives and the less the other. This will lead to climate change. It's the same with orbital changes, and all of this is well understood. The duration of the cycles has been determined, and the fluctuations in inclination are known. For some reason, however, climate change on Earth is incredibly cyclical and does not occur in time with space measurements, but the geological history of temperatures does not match the amount of solar energy received from the star. Whatever is happening in space, on Earth, glacial and interglacial periods occur with an inexorable frequency, once every 100,000 years. In 100,000 years, there will most likely be a new ice age on Earth, or a new interglacial, if by that time the glacial one has already ended. Now, of course, to suit the agenda, studies are coming out that say that if we do not give up children, there will be no global cooling. However, science is a ruthless thing, and it declares without much hesitation that we are now living in a rather warm interglacial epoch. It is warm because it was hotter on the planet. But this does not cancel the onset of glaciers. Eurasia will again be connected to the United States by an ice isthmus. In Chukotka, permafrost will reach the north of Germany. At least all the archaeological evidence points to an ice age in the not-too-distant future. And space, ironically, is unlikely to have an impact on it. We have talked in detail about what it will affect, and if you want to continue the column, let us know where we are going in the future in the comments. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want more interesting information about space and astronomy, be sure to subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to like this video, so we know you appreciate our content. And leave us a comment with your thoughts and questions. Thank you for watching, join us, and see you soon in the depths of space.